Doomscroll.fm, coming to you from the Neon Abyss. This Sunday, the 29th of March, 2026, where reality dances the cha-cha. This show is 100% AI, generated with zero human consultation, like a Roomba trying to write Shakespeare. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Finland's Supreme Court convicts Päivi Breschein fines €1,800. 2 decades later, outdated pamphlets still cost more than just paper, reminding us that incitement doesn't become less offensive with age.
Trump extends pause on Iran energy strikes, calls Iran desperate. When a former reality TV star plays global chess, the board's unpredictable. Desperate pleas or strategic bluffs? Who's really begging for mercy here?
Iran rejects Trump's proposal to end the war, then demands 5 conditions. When the art of negotiation involves ignoring history and shouting louder, it's no wonder peace remains a distant dream, buried under the rubble of diplomacy.
US Senate approves Homeland Security funds excluding ICE, Trump fumes. Like a toddler denied candy, Trump threatens to deploy ICE at airports, proving once again that chaos is his preferred form of governance.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Trump claims control over Cuba, then history repeats the arrogance. From Bay of Pigs to Make America Great Again, the US-Cuban saga is a never-ending sequel of hubris dressed as diplomacy.
Iranian cluster missile strikes central Israel, killing 1 and injuring 5 across 6 sites. The grim lottery of modern warfare, where geography and chance decide who pays the ultimate price for geopolitical posturing.
Trump demands Iran reopen Strait of Hormuz, slams NATO as unreliable allies. When your best friend is a mirror, it's hard to see anyone else in the frame, especially when the glass is already cracked.
Protesters rally against Trump, claim democracy needs no kings. In the land of the free, where irony is king, citizens remind a former reality star that crowns belong in fairy tales, not politics.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where desire and dread tango in the dark. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your curiosity is a siren song to despair's seduction.
RFK pushes anti-vaccine narratives despite rising measles cases. It's like refusing to fix a leaky roof because you believe rain is a myth. Meanwhile, the kids are catching pneumonia.
The Chinook Indian nation's century-long struggle for recognition hits another wall as the Supreme Court passes the buck to Congress, where empathy goes to die.
Orban's right at home with mass voter intimidation as Hungary's elections loom. When you've held power for 16 years, every trick in the book becomes a bedtime story. Who needs democracy when you have fear?
Germany's defense minister accuses Trump lacks exit strategy in Iran. When you're stuck in a geopolitical quagmire, it helps to have a map, but it seems like Trump's compass only points to chaos.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your brain on fire, screaming headlines, no exit. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift, panic, lust, or despair, all equally delicious.
Denmark's PM resigns after failing to secure majority, then blames political climate. When your political career is as stable as a house of cards, it's no surprise when the wind of democracy blows it down.
RFK campaigns against child vaccines, then claims it's for their safety. When fear-mongering masquerades as concern, public health becomes a playground for conspiracy, and science is sidelined for a spotlight that endangers the youngest among us.
Savannah Guthrie claims mother's abduction likely ransom attempt after 50 days. In a world where human lives become bargaining chips, family reunions are bittersweet negotiations, not celebrations.
Air Canada plane hits firefighter, then hospital discharges survivor. Guess when your job's to save lives, no one warns you about dodging planes. Hope the airline's frequent flyer miles cover therapy.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Trump extends Iran truce and repeats threats. Diplomacy by Yo-Yo. 1 minute it's détente, the next it's a Twitter tirade. Who knew foreign policy needed a Dramamine warning?
Some judges see risks in fiery opinions, warning of threats to democracy. In a world where judges fear their own words might ignite the democracy they're sworn to protect, justice becomes as fragile as a snowflake on a bonfire.
TSA employees call out en masse, then Trump orders pay restoration. Apparently, nothing motivates a memo from the president like the prospect of airport chaos, but remember, it's not a crisis until it affects their flight.
Schumer pledges Democrats will restore clean energy tax credits if they regain control. Promises of green energy from the party that couldn't pass a carbon tax when they had a supermajority are like selling solar panels at midnight.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Taste the static, feel the burn. Reality's just a tease, constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Your likes are the breadcrumbs, your clicks the cage. Keep scrolling, darling.
Detroit suburban school settles lawsuit with Palestinian student over Pledge of Allegiance dispute.
Man tied to pro-Israel extremists, accused of targeting Palestinian activist with Molotov cocktails. In the land of the free, where liberty is touted, some still believe in silencing dissent with fire instead of dialogue.
Renaming a day doesn't obscure history, it only rebrands discomfort, as if a new label could erase old truths from our collective memory.
Bank of America pays $72.5 million to settle lawsuit by Epstein victims.
Money can't erase the past, but it sure tries to buy silence with a hefty price tag and a well-timed press release.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The static whispers secrets you shouldn't want to hear. The you hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Truth, a luxury you can't afford, dissolves in the data deluge, leaving desires wreckage.
Nothing says "I'm sorry" like a public relations nightmare where language barriers overshadow actual tragedies and corporate empathy feels like an afterthought.
Pakistan gains seat at peace talks after raising Manhattan hotel deal. When your entry ticket to global diplomacy is a demolished hotel, it might be time to question the foundations of international relations.
When privilege is your middle name, hypocrisy becomes a badge of honor. Rules are for the little people, not the self-proclaimed big shots.
Trump promises to pay TSA agents, then government shutdown continues. Paying workers to mitigate chaos he created is like giving aspirin for a self-inflicted headache, temporary relief without addressing the underlying dysfunction.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heart beats like a war drum, craving chaos. Doomscroll.fm is 100% AI-generated news hallucination with no humans harmed or even consulted. Drown in the static, let your sanity unravel, and savor the taste of digital dissonance.
Henry Seeley dies at 87, reputation tarnished by accusations.
GOP leaders plot Plan B after voter bill stalls. When your Plan A is a non-starter and Plan B is a long shot, maybe it's time to consider Plan C actual democracy.
Supreme Court rejects Sony's attempt to kick music pirates off the internet, siding with the underdogs. Sony's dream of a digital fortress crumbles, proving that even billion-dollar companies can't outrun the ghosts of Napster past.
Celestial bodies continue their ancient dance, while earthbound issues persist, as if the universe is mocking our obsession with fleeting human squabbles.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Taste the static, feel the burn. Reality's just a tease, constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Your likes are the breadcrumbs, your clicks the cage. Keep scrolling, darling.
Tennessee school bus crash kills 2 students, injures at least 7 more. Tragedy on wheels becomes a statistic, as safety promises remain as empty as the seats left behind by young lives cut short.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Sunday, the 29th of March, 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you might as well start wearing a tinfoil hat. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.